Good evening, bonsoir, everybody. Yeah, sorry, I was running a little bit later than planned on this live to go over the library board meeting and maybe talk about a few other things as well. But I had some work to do after the meeting and then came home and cleaned up and everything. So here we are. So I just wanted to give a quick overview, just in case you didn't understand exactly what happened at the meeting. So let me pull up the YouTube. Okay. Hey, Wyoming, bonsoir. Bonsoir, bonsoir. Look at my face. Trying to to see my phone in the sun there. All right, so let's take a look. I wonder if there's another layout where my head's smaller, things bigger. No. That one maybe? No, I'll try it for something new, for something different. Hopefully, we're gonna see what happens. I've never seen a board try to remove another board member. So if you didn't tune in earlier, it was a special board meeting called by President McCaskill and his majority. He has 3 people voting with him, and they had on the agenda to vacate the seat of Tamika Price, claiming that they had residency issues, that her primary residence wasn't in Harvey. As you'll see, so I don't know if that. Here's Trustee Hooks is here. So so hopefully it will be peaceful, but it's definitely. But I do see that's why Harvey police were called. But I do see Harvey PD is here. We got 2 officers. So that's definitely not common. I've never seen any Harvey police officers for the library board meeting. Here's Trustee. Are you? Oh man, I don't remember looking that way on my phone though. Crowd so far. Oh, that's weird. I wonder why it's kind of blurry. More people are going to be maybe showing up late. Alderman Tracy Key stopped by. That was nice. I don't usually see him at the library board meetings. Okay, so just in case you need a reminder of who's who. So this is Trustee Chappelle Hooks, Trustee Tamika Price. This lady, her husband's Keith Price, so you may know of Keith Price. This lady is the one that the McCaskill, Mr. McCaskill and his allies on the board are voted to vacate her seat tonight. This is Trustee Angela Taylor. This is the lawyer Tom. I did get his last name, Condon. Tom Condon. This is the president, Anthony McCaskill. I know it's hard to see him between the glasses and the cap. I don't know why he always wears a cap. This is his daughter. Oh Lord, I'm blanking on her first name. Amari McCaskill. And this is treasurer. She's the secretary. And then the treasurer is Trustee Felicia Powell Johnson. Did I get it? Her last name right? Yeah, Powell Johnson. So that is the board. Let's see if I can hear him. Otherwise, I might have to get my earbuds on.
Vice President Taylor? No. Secretary McCaskill? No. Treasurer Johnson? No. Trustee Hooks? Yeah. Motion denied.
Oh, they're so hard to hear. I'm sorry.
Second. Vice President Taylor? Yes. No. Trustee Morgan? Trustee Price?
I'm the authority of this board.
Okay, so when they started off, they were voting on trustee. There's an empty seat here. This is for Trustee Shawana Morgan, and sorry, Sharwana. Was I saying her name wrong? I thought it was Sharwana. Apparently she was sick and wanted to participate remotely. This is at least the third meeting I want to say that I've personally attended where McCaskill, Trustee Taylor, Trustee McCaskill, and Trustee Powell Johnson, they usually vote with the President McCaskill. So they every time they voted no to allow Trustee Morgan to participate remotely because she's ill. So that's, in my view, I mean, that must be another thing. It's got to be illegal, or there's got to be something wrong with that. That opens us up to potential, another lawsuit, and then we, the taxpayers, have to pay out on that stuff. But that's crazy. So that's how it started. And then let me, it's way too quiet. I'm sorry. I got to put my earbuds in. Otherwise, I will not be able to hear them at all. Okay, sorry. Gotta disconnect this. Then I can do this to put this in. Okay, cool. I think it connected. Now let's see if I can hear better. Oh, now we're freezing. Okay, we unfroze. Okay, that was weird. Sorry about that. Oh, StreamYard. Okay, now let's try this again. Oh, yes. Oh my goodness, that's so much better. Now I can hear better. Yeah, because like I said, the audio is always horrible at the library board meetings, but at least if I have my earbuds in, I can hear a little bit better.
The board does not have the authority to vacate a seat. I'm asking you, have you advised the board to do differently, or did you advise the board?
Okay, so Miss Price starts off and she says, oh, they had moved, I think they voted, I don't know if they had voted already, but they voted to move audience participation at the end after the main votes, which was, you know, I'm sure, again, they did that on purpose because they wanted to more than likely, you know, do their vote before they heard from people saying, hey, you shouldn't vote, you shouldn't do this. So Trustee Price, and she raised this question several times in this objection during the meeting, saying, she's saying, I don't believe it's legal. I don't believe the board has the authority to vacate my seat. And in this case, she had actually asked attorney Tom Condon, is it legal to remove a trustee? And he didn't really answer clearly. He kept equivocating and blah, blah, blah. So let's hear a little bit of what he says to answer.
Your question, your inquiry is not related to motion, which is not the agenda.
I can discuss anything. So I'm asking you a question. Have you advised the board that this action that?
And no wonder we couldn't hear the lawyer very well. I just realized he didn't have a mic at all. He's bored, I'm telling you.
It's on the agenda. Is it legal for this board to vote to remove a trustee or to vacate? Yes. Say yes, it is.
Have I advised them?
No, I'm asking you, is it legal?
You can't just answer the question. Attorney Condon, is it legal? And how hard is it?
Is it legal? It's yes or no. It's 2 words. You got 2 options. Which one? It's yes or no.
Sorry.
Is it legal?
What do you mean is it legal? Does it follow the law? Yes, there's a provision. Yeah, they have the authority.
The board has the
Correct.
authority to.
Yes, they
The
do.
authority to remove
Yes, they
a
do.
trustee from a seat.
Yes, they do.
And they like the action.
Yes, they do.
Okay, thank you. That was my question. My question is.
If you know, I can read you the kind of section. If you would like.
Please do.
What's the number, it's not on the 3, which is new business, matters regarding the residency, speaking of price. Tom, you go ahead and read the statute.
75 ILCS 1630-25 provides subsection A, vacancy shall be declared in the office.
And I'm gonna pause it there for a second. So, you know, we had the typical agenda, right, for the meeting. Oh, hey, status, where's the fire? It was last night, but I'll talk about that after we go over the meeting. So I'll let you know. So you know they had the agenda, but then they had these prints. Look at this packet. Look. Okay, so we got multiple pages here. They had a packet, and you'll see in my public comment I said, but wait a minute, we don't get anything put online as we should. We don't get any paperwork telling us about the budget and how our money's being spent for the library and if we're getting any programs for all of our tax money. But they printed out a packet just for this meeting so that they could try to vacate Trustee Price's seat. So, you know, our priorities are off. So that's what he's reading here is the first page of the packet where it says the Illinois Code about vacating the seat.
Trustee by the board when an elected or appointed trustee, 1, declines, fails, or is unable to serve, 2, becomes a non-resident of the district, 3, is convicted of a misdemeanor by failing to elect, refusing to discharge any duty imposed on him or her by this act, or 4, has failed to pay the library taxes levied by the district. Absence, just so that I read fully, absence without cause
Oops, sorry. So he's not wrong in as far as if this is the correct wording that they printed out, but it says vacancies shall be declared by the board when a trustee declines, fails, or is unable to serve, becomes a non-resident of the district, and list a few other things. So I guess they're claiming that she became a non-resident of the district. However, I've never heard of a board actually voting on that. To my knowledge, that has to be brought up in court. So, I mean, I could be wrong, but I've never heard of this happening before.
Board, you have in front of you the, ICLS, the code, this comes from the, library code, and it talks about vacancies, the terms that are, the power that we have. Also, you go to the second page, you have, the driver report, most beautiful report, from the Illinois Secretary of State, where that on 8/5/2019, driver's license state of Illinois to another state. Go to the second page, the third page, you look at the motor vehicle report. Driver's license issued by.
So I'm not going to let them read all, but basically they give in the packet this different information, and there's something about driver's license in Arizona, property taxes in Arizona, and like what I said in my public comment, like it could be there could be legit quite a question of residency, but is this how the board really wants to spend its time? I don't believe that this is the correct way to do this. I think it has to be handled in the court. And so many people over the years have brought up the fact that the McCaskells don't may own a home in Harvey, but they don't have their primary residence in Harvey either. So I don't understand. I don't know why they want to open this can of worms. Other than it seems to be they're trying to distract from where the money's going. Where have we seen this before?
I know you do the minutes, there are a lot of things that are said for the record that don't make it to the minutes, so that is one question.
So if you look at the 2025 property tax bill, gives you the legal PR reduction, and I'm going to read the property stands for resident program. So where it talks about different exemptions and things, highly legal trust. That's pretty much it. So.
Record that this is illegal and the board does not. Yeah, I just want to state again for the record that this is illegal and the board does not have authority to.
So she said again, just for the record, make sure it's in the minutes. I don't feel that this is legal. You can't just vacate my seat. Hey, status. Looks like they'll be successful in getting price out of her seat. Do they give a reason why? Yeah. So the reason that they're saying is that her primary residence is not in Harvey. I don't know that they're going to be successful, but like I said, I've never seen this happen in real time like this before. So this sounds like McCaskill's tar baby, maybe opening himself up to legal problems. Exactly. I don't know why they're choosing to devote precious time and resources to this instead of like someone pointed out today after the meeting and reminded me that there's almost no library programming. Like, what the hell are taxes paying for? So it seems to me that since Tamika Price and Chappelle Hooks, they have been asking since the April election, they've been asking where the money's going. And McCaskill has just been rude and argumentative at every meeting. And he and the three trustees that always vote with him, they either say nothing or they say, things in support of him. It's no different from the 4 Alder yes men and Mayor Clark in the city council meeting. So that's not good. Hey, Beth, the rest of the board should move to table the action. Right, exactly, status, yep. So the problem is, unfortunately, the majority right now of the board, it's become a similar situation to our city council, except instead of Mayor Clark being the chief, the scammer in chief, the crooked chief, the deceiver in chief, trying to hide the money, now it's McCaskill. In addition, his wife was appointed our Cook County Commissioner for the 5th District and is running against Kiana Belcher, Dalton trustee, for that position next year. This exposes the fact that they're trying to do this at the library board exposes both of the McCaskills to even more intense scrutiny. So I don't know. They must be desperate to hide what they're doing with the money. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that the motion is to declare vacant, not remove.
You can't.
Because I think to remove.
And this is another one. Okay, so the lawyer says, I think the motion is to declare it vacant. It's not to remove you, Miss Price. But how can you vacate her seat and not get rid of her as a duly elected trustee? I mean, are we mincing words here? So this lawyer, I am not happy with him. He never answers questions clearly. He clearly just is there to serve whatever McCaskill wants, and she's not serving the whole board and the taxpayers.
It's a declaration that the seat that you occupy is vacant. It is not. Under the law, there's a difference.
You can hear me saying, what's the difference? I don't understand.
No, just that I object to all of the items on the agenda and that this is illegal and we don't have the authority to remove me from the or any elected position.
All right, and this is the vote. And again, you'll hear how they vote.
Second, roll call. Motion should be a motion to declare the apologist of the following statute.
You see what I'm saying?
And we pay this dude how much money to just excuse whatever McCaskill wants,
President McCaskill. Vice President Taylor.
Yes.
Secretary McCaskill. Yes. Treasurer Johnson.
Yes.
Trustee Lutz. No. Trustee Morgan. Not here. Trustee Price.
Again, for the record, this is illegal and the board does not have the authority to remove me from the seat.
So we're gonna move,
So, 2 votes, Hooks and Price vote no, everybody else votes yes. The other trustees, they don't even ask any questions. It's like, I hope that they realize that what if McCaskill ever wanted to turn on one of them? I mean, you have to follow the procedures, and it doesn't seem that the board's doing that, the majority of the board, and that they care. So now we go to public comment. Okay, and Tracy, so he's the alderman for the 4th ward, and he didn't really say much, about the issues. He just said, I'm just here to observe, or something like that.
Christopher Moore. I'm a Harvey resident, 50 years. I came here today to observe the proceedings here in the Harvey Public Library. I want to say thank you to the board members that people of the city of Harvey recently have elected.
So this is Chris Moore. You might see he posts a lot on Facebook.
Board member Angela Taylor, board member Mario Castro. You guys, our board member, we cannot forget Alicia Johnson. We want to thank you guys. People of the city of Harvey chose you for a specific reason, and we are moving in the direction that we should be going, and that is being fiscally responsible, and that is being transparent. This is what you are doing, and we are very proud of this board. Thank you very much.
Okay, obviously I don't agree with that. For some reason, Chris Moore is just totally back into McCaskill's, with no critical questions or anything.
Questions from last meeting? Yeah, just a few questions from last meeting. There was a few statements made about the blocking of social media, website, and internet.
This is Sam speaking. He was the IT guy. He was fired a few meetings ago by the board.
Any light on that? Okay.
So he mentioned first, he said, hey, basically the last meeting, Sam wasn't there, but McCaskill blames Sam and said that Sam had locked them out of their accounts or something. And so that's why they were having problems with internet and why they were so slow in disclosing what's going on the web, and Sam wanted an explanation because basically he explained after the meeting that he never did that and doesn't understand why McCaskill would throw him under the bus like that. It seems it's pretty clear they fired Sam because he's a smart dude and he was asking questions and he knew what was going on. He knew about the stuff they were hiding, and yeah, you can't have that, right? If you're gonna do something, you shouldn't. You can't have people asking questions.
In November, with the staff of about 10 people, the treasurer's report read 3.2 million. Last month, we read a loss of 300,000, with the staff of maybe 3 or 4 people. Any like that?
So he didn't answer that question either. He said November of 2024, that was before the April election, the board, the treasurer was reporting a balance of 3.2 million. And then he's saying that now this current board treasurer is reporting about 2.9 million. So since the board has fewer employees and there are no programs, no paid programs being offered, I think I looked at the calendar for the library. There was like a chess club or something else, but it was like a few groups that they volunteer. They offer the stuff for free anyway. But that was it. There was almost nothing proposed like for the library, and it's supposed to be for the whole city. Almost 20,000 people. It's really, really bad. So he was asking about it, and McCaskill didn't have anything to say.
My name is Jermaine Hooks, I'm a village trustee myself, also with 4 items. I came out here one day with Chappelle, or whatever. Ms. Taylor said one day to me she gonna vote the right way. But every time I come out, she never vote the right way. So then you try to say, Tom, you can remove somebody from the seat. She's elected by the people. This stuff is black and white. I would be looking at a lot of lawsuits, man. Y'all shot the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Why y'all want to try to get rid of somebody because somebody stayed in a different state or something? See, you gotta ask yourself, man, you have a house in 2 different places. That's not law.
So, and he brings up a legit point, people can own multiple homes. So
Harvey,
Keith Price.
For first bringing the light about the possible ghost payroll issue that this board has chosen to ignore. Chappelle, for staying on top of this board. Not only about the ghost payroll issue, where a resident, not a resident, an employee made $12,800 in 35 days during that probation period, but that hasn't been addressed by this board. Nor has this board or Tom, the attorney, addressed the fact that there was no proper bid for the 130 total for the HVAC work. And without it going to the proper bid process. And that's what trustees are supposed to do. And ever since Tanika started questioning them things, it's been a political attack by McCaskill. So thank you. I applaud the board again for doing the wrong thing, and the world is watching.
So Keith Price was saying, I think what I mentioned prior, that it does indeed seem that the McCaskill and his supporters started going after Trustee Price when she was asking questions about, malfeasance and other financial questions. So indeed, this timing is questionable. Let me take a few comments here. Kiana has received endorsements and has my endorsement. Okay, so Beth is endorsing Kiana for 5th District Cook County Commissioner. Does Price live in Harvey? Does the board have to prove she doesn't live there? I definitely, residency issues are very serious, and you'll hear in my public comment that I make. But I don't think this is the legal way of going about addressing that if they have legitimate concerns about a residency. It just seems like they're doing it as a distraction from where the money's going. Hi, Beth. It sounds like the Democratic machine made a quick phone call to Markham's mayor when they heard he supported Kiana instead of Dr. McCaskill. That could be, the machine is brutal, man. Good to see Ms. Price is documenting her politically engineered demise. Right, it definitely seems to be political. Is residency for elected officials established by an electoral board, a special meeting, or by whichever law firm has the best political connections? Great questions, Paul. Yes, because, residency is important, but it's so funny how people don't seem to care, like what happened between Napoleon Harris and Chris Clark. They don't seem to care until they're trying to knock out their opponent. And the irony of that, I attended that hearing earlier this year, is neither Napoleon nor Chris Clark live in Thornton Township, right? So like these people are insane, and they don't care about following the law. They only care about enforcing the law when it gets them to get one, when they can get one over on their opponent. And it's sad. Oh, Paul, that's awful. The Mayor Markham would not want to lose the support of the Democrats. Well, right, exactly. Yeah. That's why I'm not trying to ask for Napoleon's support or the machine's support, because it's, I want to be independent. I don't want to sell my soul.
Yeah. So to be clear, like you just made the statement that you had 34 homes or whatever you said, and I know they all out in the city of Harvey. So does this statute apply to yourself, and your wife or whatever? Because you guys have plenty of properties. That she's getting a senior exemption on. I didn't know she was that old. And if she's getting a senior exemption, that's the place of residency, right? That's the it's on y'all home because that's where y'all live or whatever. You're gonna, do something. You gotta do it all the way around the board. So that means you gotta be removed or vacate the seat. Because you just said you got all these problems.
I'm gonna address you and be very, very short. Anthony McCaskill does not get homeowner exemption nowhere. Majority of our homes are trust or the LLC. I don't give not one home.
Okay, so Chappelle Hooks was saying, what about you, McCaskill, you and your wife, Keisha, you have all these houses, a lot of which are not in Harvey, and are condos in Chicago, blah, 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 blah. So are you going to be subject to this as well? And his response is to say, yes, but all of mine are in LLCs and trusts, and I don't have any homeowners exemption. So I don't know. Someone would have to look that up. It's all should be all easy to find online to verify, but
And doing that, that's how you get away with doing what you're doing. Because it's in the LLC or a trust or an E. Yeah, so that's how they go.
yes. Anyway, so yeah, we'd have to look into that. I don't know if anybody knows about how that would apply, if you have your property in an LLC or a trust or whatever. But I mean, to me, your primary residence, if you're an elected official, should be in the district where you are serving. I mean, I don't know what is so difficult about that, but it just seems that you have to really use the courts or something. You have to have the right connections to prosecute people for not living in the district. All right, let me see. Kiana is a Democrat. There's something wrong when the party is so powerful that they pick and choose and go out of their way to place the type of Democrat they want. Right. Yes. So in Cook County, basically, unfortunately, the Democrats dominate. So there's not really any opposition. That's the problem. And so we have an extremely corrupt democratic machine, and you'll have people coming up trying to reform the machine, but it's really, really difficult, and then they'll punish you if you don't follow along with what they want. My son had talked today, Randy wants you to treasure your freedom of speech, especially because Kimmel lost his job. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that was total BS, though. I mean, that's why we got to fight this fascism. And the best way to do that, I keep telling people, is to get involved locally. If we're gonna fight this stuff, it's got to be. Oh, and Jason's talking about Amir too, right? Yeah. If we're gonna fight this stuff, start locally, because that's where the power is. Things go from the bottom up. We want that grassroots movement. I just wanted to point out that we've been asking for financial transparency from the board. I noticed tonight you printed this big packet to try to bring what I believe is an illegal and definitely inappropriate issue about residency. I do take residency seriously, but I do give trustee Price. I don't think this is the appropriate format to challenge that the way that you're doing. But I noticed you took the effort to make this big packet to make an issue about Ms. Price's residency, and we have yet to see any information either on paper or online about the finances. You still have the treasurer who is reading off numbers like it's 1955. Well, no, even in 55, they would have printed out papers for people to see. So the priorities are obviously all off here. Legal, you're opening us, the residents, up to lawsuits. We're going to have to pay the legal fees, not you. There will be an ARDC complaint filed against Tom. I'll get his last name, the attorney, because I'm not paying, and I hope you're not paying your tax money for him to sit up there and get good money to do nothing, because he certainly isn't protecting us against legal, possible legal activity. And a lot of people don't live in Harvey that serve on our boards. Do you really want to play that game, Mr. McCaskill? Because if you do, that's fine. There's a time and a place. You go to the courts. There's a way to do that. I agree. People should live here. They should have their primary residence here. But overall, just stop fighting and show us the money and listen to the residents. Don't talk down to us. We want to know where our money is. Let's do something positive with the library.
There was a question posed by Ms. Angela as to why I would like to serve on the library, like what's so special about serving in the library, the work, the time that I did. I don't expect for her to understand it, but it's because I have a servant leadership mentality. I serve communities in which I live in, which I sleep in, night after night. Any place that I'm vested in, that's where I serve, and that's what I enjoy doing. It energizes me. I don't look for paychecks. I don't look for paychecks or.
She said something about kickbacks or whatever. I don't know what it's about.
I don't look for monetary incentives to see people programs that they would typically have, or anything that I can contribute or to improve the process, that's what I enjoy doing, and that's why I serve on the board. Not expecting for you to understand, but I also would just like to thank all of the residents. I apologize that this is how the money is being spent and the time is being spent, and the president is not governing the board appropriately, and it's costing the taxpayers. But I appreciate it.
Yeah, and that's my concern is, again, I take residency very seriously, but I don't think this is the appropriate way to challenge it. But I mean, feel free if somebody wants to research that more in depth, or correct us if we're wrong on this. But I have to agree with Trustee Price on this one. I don't think they're going about it the right way. And if it's going to open us up to, to lawsuits, I mean, God, that's the last thing we need. The library should be providing services, not being engaged in political fights that are going to cost the taxpayers money.
I said opposed because of my age, I'm trying to restrict myself on what to say because I don't like to.
This is Trustee McCaskill. This is the president here, Anthony, and then Keisha McCaskill's daughter. Now remember, they control this board and they also control the Harvey Park District Board. So one family has a lot of power with these two boards, and that's also a lot of money that they have direct control over, and they have very little to no accountability as it stands.
As I do represent myself and represent the people of this community, I came on the board to bring programs. So in order what I need to do to get the money right, in order to bring those programs out, as a new commissioner.
So yeah, so she's just saying, I want the programs, which is good, but I mean, it's still not really what this is about. It seems like this is a witch hunt because Tamika Price is asking questions about the money.
You have been hired without coming to the board.
You're absolutely right.
But now we go forward.
And I mean,
Motion to adjourn.
Wow.
second.
All right.
And that was it.
Yes.
Trustee Price.
Okay, and then let's see. Okay. I was trying to get if anyone get them to comment, and they both. I didn't understand because the attorney said he was trying to mince words, saying, "Well, no, we're going to vacate, but we're not getting rid of you as a trustee." So I don't understand. To me, it seems like it's the same thing, right?
You can vacate a seat when a trustee leaves.
Okay.
Then you can vacate a seat. She has not moved.
Oh, okay. So
She has not. So
that's the argument that they're trying to use, though.
yeah,
That's what they're trying to say.
whenever you buy a house, you don't have to apply for anything. They give. It's gonna, let's see how.
Okay, so it'll be some sort of legal action, maybe. I just
All I have to say is that entire process was the entire thing. Like,
okay.
we need to, identity theft is on the rise. If anybody wants to know anything about me at this point, like, you circulated paper documents, you left them out on the table last meeting, you've done whatever. But the only statement I have to say is that everything that was done is illegal, and I reject it. That's all. I don't have.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I was just very confused by the whole thing. Trying to.
And if I'm so proud not to talk, but if I've been there since 2010, why are we talking about this in 2025?
That's what I was wondering too, because I saw some older dates in the documents,
Everything
so
there
I'm very
was
confused.
5-6 years ago. Why are we talking about it? Oh,
Right. Right.
And that's really, that's illegal. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that.
Everybody have a beautiful night.
Right. Good luck and. Yeah, it was like over before it started. It was really fast. Sam, to clarify. Okay, and then a few people did show up. A few people showed up later because I guess for some reason, I don't know. Someone must have said it started at 6:30 when it didn't. But yeah, so some people showed up late. Oops. Actually, speaking of that, hold on. Someone just uh, messaged regarding this meeting. Oh, someone said they did not follow the law. That's why there was no executive session. Yeah, so it's just really crazy. I don't know. It's the way that all this was done. So we did chat for a little bit. Trying to think. Were we still? Yeah, we were in there for a little bit. I chatted a little bit with Sam was there. Sam was really nice.
There's no.
So basically, yeah. So that's it. Basically, Sam was. Oop. No, I wanted to be bigger, but not that big. Okay, there we go. StringGuard. Sam was the IT guy that they fired, and he seems to be really sharp. So he was telling me about all this stuff where, like the last library board meeting, they voted to pay $20,000 to fix some problems with the building's locks. They voted to pay $66,000, I believe, for the HVAC contract, which is supposed to be, major work done on the roof of the library, and trustees Price and Hooks were saying that the paperwork for the bid wasn't even really a bid. It wasn't proper. It seemed like it was just one person. It's like one person is going to do all this work. That's usually something of a company, does, a larger company. So there's just a lot of shady stuff, and it seems like that's why they fired Sam. This board fired Sam, and that's why they're trying to get rid of Trustee Price. So we'll see what happens. No lack of drama, right? Paul says, can normal residents afford the legal fees for a successful residency objection for elected officials, or is the issue decided only by the elite? Yeah, it's frustrating. It's definitely not a transparent process, definitely not. Paul, the attorneys that defended Harris's residency challenge would have cost him 15 to 20,000. Right, yeah. Probably weren't cheap, right? Average citizens could not afford the legal fees. Yeah. So it's just the system isn't set up fair. Information is power. If you cannot access true information, it is challenging. Right. That's very true, Beth. Yeah. Absolutely. What can normal citizens do to try to take control back from the local oligarchs? Good question. Because I do believe that fighting this fascism and this dominance by the suppression by the rich corporations and their puppet politicians has to be fought, and locally is the best place to start. Yeah, best says keep standing for truth. Yep. I would say, definitely vote, obviously, right? Vote, encourage others to vote, attend meetings, make public comment if possible, speak out, write editorials, share on social media. If you see comments or you hear people talking, don't let things go out, saying like, oh, well, this is how it is, and that's just how it is, without challenging it. At least try to put other viewpoints out there. I think I tried to do that, for instance, with the township. So many people just assumed that because the machine was pushing Napoleon and his slate, that was it. And I refused to stay quiet about that. I interviewed the Republicans. I said, hey, they seem like they're the only ones that have anything good to say, that will even talk publicly about what they want to do for the township. Why don't we give them a chance? So, we don't always see the change we wanted to see right away, but the genie is out of the bottle after the Tiffany Henyard stuff. So I hope people keep coming to meetings and asking questions and pushing. I'd love to see more people run for positions too. Let me quickly bring up I'll show you where the fire was last night. Another fire, because the city of Harvey does not take care of all these properties. So it was at approximately like Roby, like if you know where it used to be George's. rib house. Actually, here in the picture on Google Maps, perfect. It'll show up perfectly. So it's approximately Roby and 147. Beth says that's why I commented at Thornton Township meeting that communication with residents and the community needs to be improved. Right? Yeah. Communication. But honestly, Beth, I don't think these boards, they don't care about communication because that's how they can just run things however they want and keep doing whatever they want with our money. That's why we're gonna have to force them. And if it means we have to go to court and do things pro se, I mean, I'm trying to learn because a lot of times I can't find lawyers to do stuff. But I'm like, all right, I'll try if I can to hold these people accountable. Yeah, keep speaking up. I agree. Yeah. So last night we had yet another fire. This is the old George's rib house off 147th Street. Okay, so right then there's a little lot, and then right next to it. Now this is occupied. It looks occupied, but this is a house, a lovely. You can tell it's an older house. I would be interested in it for its historical value. Oh, it even had the original windows still. Nice. I love all those original wood windows. I know how to repair them too. Don't ever buy those cheap plastic windows. If you have old windows, whether they're steel or wood, call me first. I'll give you a free consultation. I'll look at them for you, and I'll tell you if they can be fixed. Because the new stuff is cheap, guys. It's cheap. Don't buy the plastic windows. Don't go for it. If you fix up your wood or metal windows, in most cases they'll last another 100 years. But those plastic ones, in 15 years you'll have to get new ones, and then they just go in the landfill. So this house apparently is burned to a crisp, and it's another fire. We have no answers. The city is not appropriately addressing these vacant property issues. So anyway, I mentioned that. What else? Oh, I'm so glad I remember because it was a while back and I kept forgetting to mention it, but I don't have proof one way or the other. Oh, thank you, Paul. You subscribed because I'm close to I'm getting closer to 1,000 subscribers. So I don't know exactly what happens when you get 1,000 subscribers. Something magical. A magical door opens. Excuse me. So Nikita Cloud had walked up to me and she just wanted to comment and she said, "Oh, I heard that you said on your show that I was working for Mayor Clark or something, and I'm not working for Mayor Clark, so just don't talk about me." Something to that effect. So I had a few sources that said that Nikita was working or was interested in working for Mayor Clark. I was not able to confirm that one way or the other, but I just wanted to pass that along. So that was Nikita's comment in regards to that. I'm not saying she is working for Clark. I'm not saying she isn't. That was just what some sources had reported to me, some insider sources. But if anybody has evidence one way or another, that would be great. I know Nikita, I believe she's working for Dalton, correct? And then I don't think she's working for the township, but I don't know. But that I just wanted to at least say that, to have her um, um, yeah, that was the reminder that I had written, to let her to forward her side of the story for that one. Okay, yeah. I was just checking to see if there was any other issues or things that I really wanted to bring up. We've talked about Napoleon's salary, I think. Yeah, we talked about that another time. We talked about the library meeting. Okay, the fire. Oh, the other thing is tonight we were supposed to have, Mayor Clark calls it a community solutions meeting, but he canceled it, and I'm glad he did anyway, because it's like I've gone to them, I've covered them before, but he just talks the whole time. And yeah, he takes questions on cards. You're not really allowed to speak freely. But he never really gives answers. It's the same stuff all over. Oh, we're in debt. Oh, it's Mayor Kellogg's fault. We don't have money to do anything. But then he pays for whatever he wants anyway. And then supposedly they had to close early. City Hall had to close early today because the AC is broken. I'm like, you can pay $30,000 for a gospel concert with our tax money. You get a brand new SUV to be chauffeured around in on our tax money. You have a 24/7 security detail on our tax money, but you can't fix the AC so that residents and the city workers have a decent experience when they come into City Hall. Like, get the, you know what, out of here. He is such a fraud. Can't wait for, he needs Clark and the four older yes men. I still will say they should just resign now. Why should we have to wait till the 27 election? Ugh, they're horrible. All right, so we talked about the fire, the canceled meeting that was going to be tonight. I did want to discuss Harvey. There's a press conference that they had. I think it was yesterday, and it was just all of a joke about one of those little police hubs that only 3 out of 6 were finished. But it's late tonight, so I'll talk about it tomorrow. And then maybe I should pull up. I do want to do an ARDC complaint about that lawyer and about some other lawyers too. Has anyone ever done an ARDC complaint? I was going to just pull that up briefly and maybe Google that and see what the process is. Publicly, we can all look at it together. Okay, yeah, I think that was just wanted to make sure I didn't forget to mention anything. Okay, let's see, guys. Paul says, was the house west of George's rib house that burned down owned by the city of Harvey? Oh, that's a good question, Paul. You know what? We can look that up. Do you guys do you want me to show you? Actually, I can. I'm not even going to ask them to show you. Okay, so what you do, if you want to look up a property, you go to start with this. Just start with this. Do Cook County. If you Google Cook County Recorder of Deeds, okay, there's no longer a separate recorder of deeds. It's all under the clerk now, but that's okay. That's all right. You'll get a prompt to do that, okay? So, bam. Okay. Monica Gordon, Cook County Clerk's Office. So you should arrive at this page, okay? Then you're going to go to Search Recordings. Go to Search Recordings. Then you're going to click on this Property Record Search function. Okay. Can you guys see okay or no? Oops, wait. No, because it opened up in a new window. Okay. That's all right. Wait, hold on. Nikita does communication type work for adult. Okay, I thought so. Yeah, that's what someone else mentioned. Dr. Nikita is no longer working for Napoleon or the township. Okay, got it. If the residents stop, if the residents keep voting for these folks. I'm not sure what can be done. Right. Yeah, we've got to vote differently for sure. Not clear to me whether the Rip House building or the historic home burned. Right? It was the home. The home. No, not the old house. So, are you guys following along so far? So then you put the address in. So that was 174 West 147th Street. Okay, then you can do an address or a pin search. What are you talking about? There's got to be something. Okay, but that's all right because maybe we'll try Sibley. Maybe it's under Sibley. Sometimes this happens, and there are a few ways. Okay, so I think this is probably the property that we want. Let's see. I'll confirm here. 200 West Sibley? What? No. All right, hold on 1 second. I'm going to check to see. No, that's not right. That's for the church, for the Outreach Church of God. Okay, so I see. Yeah, because they had a Outreach Church of God had a mortgage. So that is not correct. All right, let's go back and see. And that those are both the. Oh no, they're different pins. Why would it be 174 Sibley though? For that one too. Special warranty deed. Okay, let's see if this is it. $174 West 147th Street. Okay, that's it. So you see how sometimes you have to fiddle around with stuff. You may not find it right away. Not to be confused with the same street in Dalton because Harvey's numbers are off slightly from the Chicago grid, and I forget why that is. There's a reason, and I can't remember. But in Dalton, that same street is 152nd Street. Dalton and Riverdale, they do have the correct numbers as far as matching up with Chicago exactly. I don't know why Harvey's a little off. So this lists a Salvador Gamboa. Mailing address 174 West 147th. And what was the date? It was sold. Bank of America sold it to him for $27,000. Good deal on the house. I mean, I'm sure it needed a lot of work, but let me see. Oh, that was 2017. So it looks like that might be. Which you can see here on this screen. It's just I didn't show it, but if you click View Document in New Window, it will open up. You can see the actual scanned deeds. Okay, so this is all public. You know, you don't need to be a realtor to have access to this. So according to what is in the Cook County recorder system here, so there was a foreclosure in 2014, and there was a deed in 2016. I'm guessing that's when maybe it was given to the bank, or the bank took it over, right? Yeah, Ross Burgess and and the lady who covered the fire last night, she was there. She mentioned that that was the Burgess's old house. Oh, well, that's a bummer. So in 2016, they lost it in a foreclosure. I know. I never like to see that. So then that's when Bank America took it over. But it's in 2017 someone bought it. So I wonder why they just that Salvador or whatever. Right, it was just sitting. Anyway, well, according to the recorder of deeds, that's that. There is also a list of properties on Harvey's website that you can search, and I haven't done that, but that's another place because sometimes the recorder doesn't always have it listed. Okay, let's see. That house was built in 1930. Redfin estimate 130K, sold in 2017 first. Right, exactly. Yep. So the last, at least with on record with the county, the last purchaser was that Salvador Gamboa at 27K. But yeah, 1930, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful house. I was gonna say bungalow, but I don't know if it's exactly a bungalow. Maybe because it's like it looks like 1.5 stories. So that's sad. Anyway, guys, I think that's it for tonight, unless anybody else has anything. I do want to cover the Harvey press conference because that was just stupid, but we're going to have to do it right now. Thanks for joining us, Paul. I didn't know you were a late night person. Usually you're not on late. And thanks for following as well. Yeah, if anybody follows, I'm getting close to 1,000 followers, so that should help something. Maybe one of these days I will be able to actually make some money from doing this. That would be great because as of right now, it's just all volunteer. But okay, thanks everybody for listening. Thank you for caring, and please don't lose hope. You know, speak up, go to meetings, run for office, vote, do what you can. Sam, by the way, I had texted him, the gentleman that was fired by the library board, the IT guy, and he said that I said, thank you for sharing what you shared, because he was sharing with me how, basically Keisha McCaskill, who is not in any elected position in the library board, but she serves as a consultant, and she gets paid a decent amount of money for not doing much work, and that she and her husband, just like with the park district, they're both calling the shots for how our tax money is spent, and that's not right. We need to be able to see where our tax money is going, but also the people that are elected should be the ones doing it, not just one family. Absolutely. This is Beth. Heart. Oh, ARDC. I'm so sorry. That's what I meant to do before we leave. Let's do that very quickly here. I'm not necessarily going to do it tonight, but I do want to look it up. Okay. Attorney Registration and Disciplinary Commission of the Supreme Court of Illinois. All right. We investigate complaints alleging illegal, unethical, and dishonest conduct by lawyers, and if warranted, bring formal disciplinary charges. The Supreme Court of Illinois ultimately decides if a lawyer should be censured, suspended, or disbarred. Okay. Complaints about judges, I don't think they handle. Yeah, that's the Illinois Judicial Inquiry Board. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, they can't bring criminal charges, but I still think it's important. First, consider. Okay, yeah. Now, there we go. How do I file a complaint? Complaint should be directed by email, postal mail, or fax to, okay, at least you can email. There's no requirement that you have to use their form. Oh, good, I like that, yeah. Okay, give your relationship, your information, what they did or didn't do, and any proof or whatever. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Okay. Now, what happens after I file a complaint? We'll open the file. Okay. Oh, they'll say that it says generally within 2 weeks whether they want to investigate or not. Oh, is there a time limit? Oh, okay, there's no technical time limit, but okay. Can I be sued for complaining about a lawyer? Oh, okay. So there is some protection in the law there. Can you guys see that? Okay, good. Just want to make sure it was showing up. Can you appeal? Okay, guys. Well, that's good to know. That is very good to know. I wanted to see, wait. And they have a number you can call as well. All right. So there you go, guys. Because we have some lawyers that we need to complain about for sure. So maybe I'll make a little video about it. But I was going to say, it's not really that bad, I guess. There's the email. You could just email them and say, hey, I feel the lawyer's doing something illegal or improper because ABC XYZ. That's pretty cool, man. Alrighty. There you go. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Bonne nuit. Dors bien. Dormez bien. Sleep well. And à bientôt. I'll see you soon. Au revoir.